Good evening. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Nada St. Germain, and protein is definitely a topic that I'm really excited to share with you. It's something that when I was first introduced to Neolife, I really didn't understand how important it would be a part of my life and my children. So important. Some of you know that I was working as a police officer in Toronto, and I found with shift work the protein was something that just came in handy. I mean, I was tired all the time, just long hours, stressful hours, and a bit of stress with the job, and my hormones were out of whack. And when I started taking some of the supplements along with the protein that Neolife had to offer, the difference in how I felt emotionally, mentally, and even how I dealt with the stress of my job, amazing. So I was in my early 20s, but then as I'm getting closer to my 60s, that's when I really started to really appreciate the protein. And I'm hoping that tonight you're going to have a better understanding and why it's so important and how a good quality protein can impact your life and really what to look for, because there's a lot of stuff out there that I would say is not safe. So let's go ahead with this, because there's a lot of stuff I want to share with you. And first, we're going to listen to my dear friend, Don Lawson.
Well, let's roam over to protein a little bit. Protein is the next subject. Protein is the only substance that is actually food to you. Vitamins and minerals are activators and spark plugs to the food of protein. All the antioxidants, they don't go into metabolism, they only protect and fight. And so protein is your food. Every tissue in you is made up of protein. Your hair's protein, your skin's protein, your toenails are protein. In fact, you go through every tissue in you. But people make a mistake of looking at protein as the word protein, and this confuses too many people, because then they can eat an inferior source. For example, your blood cells 5 amino acids, your skin cells 7 amino acids, the muscle tissue is 13 amino acids, and so it takes different groupings of different tissues to get all 22 amino acids. You know what you have to do with a cow to get 22 amino acids from eating the cow, don't you? You have to eat the whole cow. The hide, the hoofs, the brains, the entrails, the whole thing. And so we'll work around this protein. But if you will change the vocabulary over and actually not talk about protein as the word protein and start talking about it as 22 amino acids. The 22 amino acid story is the important factor, because it gives people the basis of what they're thinking about and how important it is to be complete. And there is a difference between protein and complete protein. And so you must have the 22 amino acids. The 3 most important functions in your entire life come out of the 22 amino acids. Let's start with the first most important system in your life, your enzymes. Your enzymes are the catalysts that bond to a nutrient and throw it into the step of metabolism. If you do not have the correct enzyme for a certain nutrient, it will not digest. There's a different enzyme for every nutrient, a different enzyme for every biofunction. You need literally millions of them. Every single enzyme in you is made up of a combination of different ones of the 22 amino acids. There's not a single enzyme that exists in you that's not made up of some of the combinations of the 22 amino acids. If you are deficient in one amino acid over a period of time, and if you're not taking our Nourishake or one of our other protein drink mixes, if you're not taking 1 serving a day, you're probably deficient in more than 1 a day. You owe it to your life and your health to take all 22 amino acids once a day. We run into it a lot with children with sickle cell. The sickle cell situation is a protein situation. I have dozens and dozens of children with sickle cell anemia that they get on the 22 amino acids and the problem's gone. It's absolutely a dream come true. That protein is so important, so important. Now, what we look at is that if you would eat a quality nutrient, one of the most beneficial nutrients in your life, you eat that nutrient, and here is going to be something of value for you. But if you have failed to consume the 22 amino acids and you were not able to make the correct enzyme to hook on to that quality nutrient, that nutrient will not be digested, will not go into your metabolism. In fact, the first thing that nutrient will do when you can't connect an enzyme to it is it will become an allergen to you. And now as an allergen, you're going to start to get phlegm, and you're going to cough, and you're going to get reddy, fleshy eyes, and you're going to start to get a headache and constipation. You're going to start to feel bad, and the allergen hits you. And then, of course, because the enzyme doesn't connect to it, The only way that nutrient's going to get out of you is to go into biodegradable breakdown. It'll give off phenol serums and ammonia gases and toxic poisons and be very dangerous for you. If you get a nutrient in you that you cannot connect to an enzyme, you better get it out of you as quick as you possibly can. The importance between a nutrient being good for you or bad for you is whether you have made the correct enzyme or not. And how you make the correct enzyme is, have you had your 22 amino acids? Now, the second most important system in you, we've already covered just a little bit. The second most important system in you after the enzymes number one system is your hormones. Now, we already covered that hormones are built in two stages. The first stage is you must get phytosterols into the cell membrane, stage one. Stage two is all you do, of course, at stage one, is convert the phytosterol into a certain particular prostaglandin based upon its tissue. Then you have to connect certain amino acids to that prostaglandin for you to be able to finish off making the hormone. If you are unable to supply the correct recipe of amino acids to certain glandular tissue, you will have adrenal exhaustion, hormone exhaustion, glandular failure, nervous breakdown. Your pituitary gland, a pea-sized gland in your brain, secretes over 500 different hormones on a daily basis. 500. If you're deficient in just one amino acid over a period of time, there'll be certain hormones you cannot make. The emotional stability will not be there. It may be a letdown for somebody at work, a letdown with a spouse, a letdown with a child. It may even be a letdown to your goals and ambitions. It may cause you to make the wrong decision that causes a failure situation in your life, all because the emotional support was not there, because you didn't supply your body with what it needed to give you the hormone balance to power up and be somebody. And so we want you to know that you have to have the 22 amino acids to do the second step and complete your hormone need. The third most important area in your life is your immunity, your antibodies, lymphocytes, platelets, T cells. Spend just a moment or two on T cells, and then we'll get off into some more fun product. But the T cell is made in your bone marrow, and you make millions and millions of different kinds of T cells because T cells are coded to destroy viruses. And there's millions and millions of different viruses. And you make every single T cell from a mixture of different ones of the 22 amino acids. The process is if you get exposed to a brand new virus, somehow you get poked or you eat some food or somehow somebody sneezes on you or whatever, and all of a sudden you have been exposed to a virus you never have been exposed to before, within 3 minutes, you will carry that virus to your bone marrow, and you have the ability to read the DNA chain of the virus, how it manufactures itself, how it repairs itself, how it reduplicates itself, what it has to eat. And if you have in inventory the correct amino acids, you can call up the recipe to make the correct T cell that will destroy that virus, and you can make that correct T cell and put it in your bloodstream within a half of an hour. From your first exposure to a deadly virus to the cure antidote put in your bloodstream to start the battle can happen as fast as a half an hour if you have consumed all 22 amino acids and your inventory is ready for you to make the recipe correctly. You start to see how important these 22 amino acids are. You got to take one serving every day. I went to a great big supermarket the other day, had a great big sale sign with a pile of protein there, and it was really cheap, and I went, man alive, how can we compete with that price? And I picked up a can that had 7 amino acids. How inferior. It was really cheap. It was cheap. In the process, I went in one of these great big health food stores. They had about 3 aisles of protein. They sold proteins for nearly 20 companies of gain and lose and energy and weight. And oh man, they were. And so I asked the manager, I said, would you tell me a little bit about your proteins? And so he took me over to the side of the store and said, now this is the best protein we have in the store. The best one. We stood there and read the amino acid profile together, and it had 14 amino acids in it. That is the best protein in the entire health food store industry. We do not put all 22 amino acids in our protein just so we can say we're better than everybody else. We put the 22 amino acids in our protein because that's what whole food total nutritional need is for that area of your nutrient. We're totally complete, all organic and natural.
That's the power of protein. And that audio was done many, 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 many years ago. And it still stands. Like, it's incredible, the information and the power of protein, because over the years, more and more people have been buying protein. And there's been a lot of reports and even consumers reports going back to 2018, whether it be for weight loss, muscle building, or simply as a convenient, quick meal on the go, many North Americans turn to protein powders and drinks. But a new study shows that many of the top selling powders and drinks may contain concerning levels of heavy metals, such as arsenic, cadmium, mercury, and lead, and toxins like bisphenol, a BPA, a chemical found in some plastic containers and food can liners. So these substances have been linked to cancer, brain damage, and reproductive issues. The new study from the Clean Label Project, a non-for-profit organization that examines labeling and safety issues, they found that virtually all of the 134 products tested contain detectable levels of at least one heavy metal, and 55% tested positive for BPA. These toxins accumulate in your body and can stay there for years, says Tundik Akinley, test program leader in Consumers Reports for Food Safety Division. A frequent consumption of foods that contain them can have adverse health effects over the long run. This is not the first research that has shown high contaminant levels in such products. In 2010, Consumer Study Report detected arsenic, cadmium, lead, and or mercury in samples of all of the 15 powders tested. So this has been going on for years. So this is the Clean Label Project protein powder study that came out of 2018 with 134, again, of the products that they tested. And it was scary. 70% they found lead, 74% cadmium, and 55% had the BPA. So you really have to know the company that you're purchasing your product from and make sure that the products are regulated and tested. And that's why, when I looked at Neolife 33 years ago, I knew they had a scientific advisory board, but I really didn't understand the scope. And when I met Dr. Arthur first, he was a senior member of our scientific advisory board at the time, one of the top cancer researchers, top toxicologist in the world. And the reason why he decided to partner and dedicate his life with Neolife is because he really believed in, first of all, whole food nutrition, whole food supplements. And he really understood the importance of making sure everything was tested, right from the raw materials to the soil to crop testing. And even after the products are manufactured, they're retested and tested over and over again to make sure there's no contaminants, the potency levels are there. And that's really, really important when you're looking for good quality product. And even Dr. Liz Applegate, she's a nationally renowned expert on nutrition and fitness. She's a faculty member of the nutrition department and has served as a director of sports nutrition at the University of California, Davies. And, when she first looked at Neolife, she said she wanted no part of being involved in this kind of industry until she found out who Neolife was and what we were all about. And now she's so grateful. And she does an amazing talk on weight loss, body fat composition, and our Neolife protein. So just a little bit more on the secret to weight loss. So here's Dr. Liz Applegate. Where's it here? I think.
There it is, protein. There is something new. We are discovering more. And I'll tell you one thing, what impressed me about Neolife when I came to join the board some 3-4 years ago was that the progress that Neolife had made, the knowledge that Neolife had in terms of making sure they were on the cutting edge. In fact, they were doing things before a lot of scientists could get it out to other people to be definitive. So this whole idea that protein is key to weight management is really it. So I want to focus on that, but John did a great job at letting us know all these different health problems, and Dr. Beck, we do have to pay attention to this. It is important to stop the weight gain creep. So many of us gain weight and we then start suffering as we get older from cardiovascular disease, pulmonary disease. And now we know that if you have some of these risk factors, that if you were to suffer from COVID, it makes your recovery tougher and actually serious complications. So I think we're all in agreement that being obese, gaining weight as we're adults is rather a challenge, and it's a challenge to your health. But I want to get us on track to refresh ourselves, to start with a healthy wellness approach, and to look to Neo Life Shake to bring that in, as well as Pro Vitality to help us with our weight control. So if I were to tell you that, okay, let's lose weight, and let me get back, my phone is being sensitive, I want to say the struggle is real. What can I tell you if you say to yourself, hey, I've tried losing weight before, I usually go a couple of weeks and then I get back and I see these tempting foods. I have a sedentary lifestyle, and sure, I get out and walk or run, but it's a bit of a challenge. Well, I want to stop right now and change your mindset. Did you know that all of us as humans are working with a set of genetic material that is from our ancestors? And I don't mean European ancestors or African ancestors. What I mean is prehistoric humans. Picture how they had to survive. They didn't get food, certainly not donuts and soda whenever they wanted. They were hunters and gatherers, and we evolved from their genetics. If they were to lose weight, they might not survive. If they were to lose weight, a woman might not be able to maintain a pregnancy. So guess what? Our body is programmed to defend against weight loss. It doesn't want to lose weight. Keep that in mind, because all the mechanisms that come into play stem from that. So I want to take a look at energy balance and how that's impacted when we try to lose weight. You'll notice here I have a scale. Calories in come from fat, protein, and carbohydrate. Those are called our energy nutrients. The more we eat, if we're not burning it with our calorie output, so metabolism, just the amount of calories you need to keep your brain going, keep your liver operating, the cost for digestion and assimilation of food, and physical activity. Get up out of your chair and walk around. I hope you did that at the break. So calorie intake has got to balance calorie output. If you take in more calories than what you're burning, your body's going to take that extra and, for the most part, convert it to fat and store it. And that's how we creep. And that's how, over the past several months, a lot of us have managed to put on a pound or two, or some estimates are calling COVID-19 19 pounds. So we don't need to point fingers. We just know that there are some concerns. Well, what research has shown, and this is from Harvard School of Public Health, from many other international universities, is looking at the role protein takes in all of this. If you want to lose weight, you know, I'll cut out some fats, I'll cut out sugars, and I'll cut back on the amount of everything I'm eating, including protein. Well, actually, that isn't a good thing. Let me circle here over on the right-hand side, that when you lower protein intake, that actually impacts the number of calories you're burning. We didn't know this before. We need more protein when we're trying to lose weight than when we're maintaining our energy balance. Protein actually impacts the metabolism, how many calories you burn at rest, thermogenesis, the digestion costs, and also physical activity. So let's take a look a little bit closer at that. So if we look at some factors about why we had thought about this, of ice cream. Why did I do that? Did the ice cream jump out into your lap? No, you made a conscious effort to sit down with that bowl of ice cream. There are feelings of fullness or satiety and feelings of hunger that are managed, I mean, literally managed by hundreds of different factors. And researchers are trying to tease that out to make sure that they know how best to address it to help with weight loss. And I just want to pick two that seem to play a big role, and that where protein comes in. We have hormones in our body, one being leptin. that's made by fat cells as well as muscle cells, and they lend feelings of fullness to what we call satiety. And then there are protein, short proteins, small peptides, and others, one called ghrelin that comes out of the stomach. Now, do you know that feeling when you go on a weight loss program and you just, by the third day, you're, okay, I've had enough of this. I need a bagel and cream cheese, or I need a bowl of ice cream. We get ravenously hungry and we blame it on ourselves, saying, no, we're weak-willed. We don't have the willpower. Why does somebody else have it? Remember, we're designed to defend against weight loss. This isn't an issue of being weak-willed. Your ghrelin levels are spiking and are driving your brain to say, I want to eat that. What can we do about that? How can we get control over it? Well, research shows that protein needs go up to help manage and suppress those cravings that we have. Research supports a higher protein intake. Dr. Stuart Phillips from McMaster University in Ontario has investigated this along with many other researchers to show that our protein needs during weight loss go up 50 to 100%. 50 to 100%. And it's not about just sitting down at dinner and eating 2 steaks. It's different than that. It's getting protein throughout the day. And what's so important is that this increased protein need helps suppress ghrelin, change appetite levels, help you feel full. So you, in a way, you're tricking your body to say, no, I don't want to defend against weight loss. I do want to lose weight because I want better health. And that's what your body is about. So when we look at putting this together and talk about that very first meal that we have, I have some breakfast type foods pictured here. I have Neolife shake. I have some other items, a breakfast burrito. We have egg. What research shows is you start that day with a good 20 grams of protein. You want to reduce those feelings of hunger. You want to control your cravings in that morning time. And studies show that by having a good dose of protein in the morning, that you can actually reduce the amount of food you eat later in the day. And also what I'm showing you here is that the types of protein are important. High quality protein versus incomplete protein sources. When I use the word quality, what I'm referring to is the profile of amino acids, in particular, the essential building blocks that you need to build hormones, muscle proteins, and all other types of body proteins, of which you have 10,000 different ones. And what we can look at here now is a day's worth of eating. And I'm giving options here. This isn't a perfect menu to follow. What I do want to show you is we have a breakfast there of Neolife shake, which has 18 grams of protein, and a Neolife bar. So that's 10 grams. So we have a total of 28 grams. Quick, I had to do the math there. 2 hard-boiled eggs. As another option to go with the shake, or however you want to mix and match it. But the important thing is get that day started with protein. Continue on with eating lunch that contains protein. We have a good source with cottage cheese. We have a dinner with fish. And certainly you can utilize Neolife shake as a replacement meal. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because Neolife shake has been researched publicly by an institution and published. So getting in this high quality protein is critical to what we need to do to help us lose weight. Well, to take into consideration why might Neolife shake, and this was developed years ago, again, Neolife Scientific Advisory Board was thinking ahead of the curve as to what's important with weight management, and that is to glycemic response. And I want to show you what that looks like. We jumped ahead, unfortunately, on my frame here, I think. The Neolife shake was studied clinically with 68 participants in a 12-week study, very well controlled. We took individuals that were overweight, that's identified by the body mass index, as well as obese, a body mass index above 30. And what they did was give up their regular meal plan. They had a Neolife shake for breakfast, a healthy snack, another Neolife shake, a healthy snack, and a balanced dinner. So they got this adequate protein we're talking about. The researchers looked at measuring their changes in body weight, as well as very important metabolic parameters such as insulin levels, blood cholesterol. So this was a very, very thorough study. And what the researchers found is that Neolife Shake was clinically proven to deliver results. That's a big deal. A significant amount of weight loss. Some participants lost up to 23 pounds over this 12-week period, but the average loss was a bit over 5 pounds. There's a reduction in body fat, 10%. That's a really great take-home message here. A lower body mass index. Some people even fell out of the obese category. The effects that were noticed and documented around the cardioprotective measures, how that was determined was looking at LDL cholesterol, that dropped. That's the carrier of cholesterol that can damage blood vessel walls. And the HDL, or the good carrier of cholesterol that's protective, was left unchanged. So that's why the ratio was improved. So it's great to see that this has been looked at closely. The controlled glycemic response may help also explain why these participants and you have done so well with using the Neolife Shake as a means of weight loss. See that green bar that goes across the shaded region? That is a healthy band of blood glucose levels. If we follow that blue line, then we have modest up and down. After eating a meal, glucose goes up. That's the basic unit of carbohydrate. Glucose comes down. That's a normal body response. If you eat refined carbohydrates, oftentimes people observe a large up, follow the red line, and down, and it isn't glycemic controlled. And that's unfortunate because that can follow with spikes in insulin levels. This in turn can impact fat synthesis in the body, protein metabolism, and much more. So consuming a meal replacement that is controlled for the glycemic response is critical. Well, let's take a closer look to see what's inside the Neolife Shake. And I'd like to look in to see how many grams of protein. Well, I apologize. I just lost my connection, unfortunately. I've reconnected. I have to reconnect. So just bear with me as I take my cell phone here and do the code again. Not sure why that happened, but we're going to work with it. Here I am back, I hope. Okay, are we there? Okay, so let's take a look at what's inside a Neolife Shake. And I think it's important that we tease out these differences. So in case you're comparing with another weight loss product, Neolife Shake is biologically complete. There are 20 different amino acids that make up your body protein. Neolife provides an additional 2 that are offshoots of 2 of these amino acids. But what's so important is that Neolife Shake has a very high quality score. Remember that protein quality? The quality score, a measurement to determine how good that protein is. It's as good as the quality score that you would see for fish, for egg, for chicken. You get 18 grams of protein per serving and branched chain amino acids, which I'll tell you about shortly, but they are an important grouping of amino acids that we find in muscle that are involved in protein synthesis. 5 grams of satisfying fiber. We know that water-soluble fiber helps you to feel full, and with only 104 calories per serving. And remember, Dr. Beck talked to us all about the various nutrients. You get an array of critical nutrients from Neolife Shake. Now, what about those branched chain amino acids? They have names, not that you should memorize, but leucine, isoleucine, and valine. We find many of these particular essential branched chain amino acids in your muscles. And anybody that is a real workout person knows that they want to get those in the diet. Why? Because these essential amino acids called branched chain are involved in building new muscle protein as well as the essential. Leucine, in particular, stimulates or triggers the what's called mTOR for your muscles to build more protein. And we don't at all want to lose our muscle protein when we are trying to cut calories. We want to keep that lean mass. We want to stay fit. And I would assume that you are doing exercises with weight loss. So you can also turn to Neolife's performance shake, and let me show you what's inside of that. The performance protein is a muscle match protein blend. So this comes from with no soy addition, whey, milk protein, and another milk protein called casein. So it's all dairy protein. There's a high dose of branched chain amino acids, well over 5.5 grams, and 2.6 grams of leucine. So any bodybuilder out there probably knows right away that's exactly what you want. You need also a protein to carbohydrate ratio of 1:1. And again, we have that great profile of essential vitamins and minerals. So what I urge you to do is rethink your approach to weight loss. And rather than at weight loss is instead to look at that it's not, let me go backwards again, we're having a time here. It's not you not having willpower. There are many people who are successful. I encourage you to go to the weight loss, weight management guide that Neolife has put out. It's stupendous. A lot of success stories, a lot of explanation of more of this and why the Pro Vitality with the Neolife Shake. As Rebecca in this picture, that's some significant body shape change. You can do it. You can do it. And keeping that mindset and saying, you know what, I need to go work against my prehistoric genes that tell me I don't want to lose weight. I do want to lose weight. I want to be healthier. So I'm going to have more protein in my first meal and throughout the day. And what's the amount we were aiming for? At least 20 grams. And you can do that. Remember, Neolife Shake and a bar combined, that's 28 grams, a really good dose to start the day out with. Thanks so much, and thanks for bearing with me. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you at another opportunity.
That's our lovely Dr. Liz Applegate. So happy to have her on our team. And, you know, the whole point of her explanation is about keeping your blood sugar level, energy. You know, protein is a great way to start your day. The 22 amino acids are not just for building and repair of healthy tissue, but you talk about the enzymes for digestion, again, antibodies for fighting infection and disease, hormones, collagen in our skin, and again, regulating blood sugar. So our Neolife Shake, it's powerful. It tastes amazing. You know, each source was chosen for its unique amino acid profile. And again, at the highest quality protein per serving. And it's easy to digest. You know, there's a score, it's called the protein digestibility amino acid score. And a perfect score is 1, and ours is a 1.73. So when people say, oh, I have a hard time digesting some of the proteins that are out there, so many of my clients and customers say, wow, I can't believe I have no issues in digesting and breaking down the proteins in this amazing product called Neolife Shake. So yeah, fantastic. But some of the kind of, I guess, questions we get is soy. Some people still have this misconception or a negative feel about soy, or they talk negatively about soy and breast cancer. But as you know, the only controversy with soy is with those who take concentrated isolates of soy that have unnaturally high amounts of phytoestrogenic compounds. And even then, the data is inconclusive at best. Neolife does not use concentrated isoflavonoids. The portion of soy that contains the phytoestrogenic compounds, if any, in our products. And there's so much research out there now that soy food intake and breast cancer survival, they're now saying, wow, we need good quality soy to fight cancer. And they did a study where soy intake in over 5,000 breast cancer survivors in Shanghai had reduced risk of death by 29% and reduced reoccurrence by 32%. So soy is now, being talked about as very important. Again, good quality, non-GMO soy. Even MD Anderson, with their cancer center, talk about how it's important. They're saying now we have gone from saying no soy to breast cancer survivors to it's not going to hurt. Now it looks like we can say it may help. So they've really changed their whole view. And even the American Cancer Society, there's no evidence in medical literature that soy isolate is bad for humans compared to the other forms of soy. Soy protein isolate is often used as a supplement in randomized studies of the effects of soy on health, and none of these studies have shown harm. So that is so awesome, because Neolife has known this for many, many years. And now finally we're getting the support from some of these other organizations. And we have a breast cancer thriver with us this evening, Joan. And Joan, I know you love the Neolife Shake, and maybe just share a little bit about why you think this is really important for everybody, especially for someone like you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joan Poon. Just to give you a bit of a background for some of the new people, I'm a retired registered nurse, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer 32 years ago. And after my treatments, which was 29 years ago, I was introduced to Neolife because I was looking for a product, something to boost my immune system and my energy level. And that's when I discovered Neolife. And I was drawn to the science behind the products because I know in nursing we had our practice had to be evidence-based, research-based. And I was really happy about that. So I started using the products, and in terms of my energy level, my immune system got stronger, and I was very confident taking the products because of our scientific advisory board, and gave me the confidence. One of the things is, you worry about recurrence, but I knew I was doing something against that, about minimizing my risks of a recurrence. And so I'm confident in taking the products with soy because it's safe. At least ours is very safe for you. And it's actually important, right, in terms of breast cancer prevention. And it also, in terms of protein itself, I've been taking a protein shake for the past, I would say, maybe 28 years. When I was introduced to Neolife, I was not a protein drink person. I wanted toast and something solid. And then I realized the importance of these 22 amino acids that our body needs on a daily basis. And by eating food, you don't get that. Your body has to make it. And I didn't want to play what's called Russian roulette and think, okay, my body's going to make it. But sometimes it lets you down. So the shake gives you 22 amino acids readily every single day. So it's recommended for babies to 99 years old. My grandkids love it. They're from 2 to 7 years old. They have a shake every morning. And I have a shake every morning. And I just love having those 22 amino acids. It helps me to maintain my weight. And also, as we all say, we try to age gracefully. And I know you said, Nada, try to age powerfully, building muscles at this.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd highly recommend it for everyone to start now, right? In terms of using a good protein shake. And of course, the other vitamins as well. Thank you for
it's so true, Joan, when you talk about aging powerfully. I mean, when I was at my hot yoga today, there's some moves that I haven't been able to do in my 20s and 30s, and I was able to hold some positions that were quite intense and strong. I had to be really, really strong. And the trainers that were training were in their 30s, and I'm going to be 60 in a couple of years. They were in awe that I was able to. And I told them, I said, I have not gone without a Neolife shake in 33 years. I know that's been a huge factor to just my strength, my immune system, being able to perform, doing the workouts that I do. I love exercise. It has been a passion of mine for years, and I know I would not be able to do it. And you're right, the safety of that Neolife shake. And even my boys just left this evening, and my youngest boy, Luke, said, Mom, I was really busy this week, and I went, a few days without Neolife shake, and man, did I ever feel the difference. Because my boys grew up with the protein shake and that Pro Vitality, and they notice a difference without it. So I'm so grateful. So yes, safe for kids, safe for babies, safe for elderly, taste amazing. And you know, the scary thing with some of the products that are out there, the GMO, right? The Neolife shake, there's no GMO ingredients. There's so many foods out there that are genetically modified, and our soybean is not. So that's really important as well when you're looking at quality and purity. You know, every plant or animal sourced ingredient identity preserved. So this is so important. And again, all 22 amino acids, very unique to Neolife and helps in all of these areas. And you know, when you're looking at sugar, sometimes people go, oh, there's, you know, yeah, fructose in your Neolife shake. And because, you know, I'm staying away from sugar. Well, let me tell you, it's not sugar that's in the Neolife shake. Yes, sugar can ruin your health. There was so much research out there by an author in Lick the Sugar Habit by Nancy Appleton. And, you know, sugar can suppress your immune system, impair your defense against infectious disease. Sugar does feed cancer cells and can cause autoimmune diseases such as arthritis, asthma, MS. So it's so important to, yes, to reduce sugar, but look at what kids are eating. Like, look at our breakfast cereals. When you look at the sugar content in some of the food that people are consuming for breakfast, right? Where's the protein? Okay, and you wonder why obesity is on the rise, especially in our young children. Like even shredded wheat, just 1 cup is 8 teaspoons of sugar. Quaker Harvest Crunch, I remember that was my kid's favorite. I didn't realize how bad it was, right? 16 teaspoons of sugar in 1 cup of that cereal. Even cornflakes, right? You think, oh, that's not a sugared cereal, but boy, oh boy, even Cheerios, Raisin Bran. So again, you know, where's the protein? And even yogurt, you know, some, you know, people think, oh, I had yogurt for breakfast, or I throw yogurt in my smoothie. Boy, the amount of sugar that's in a lot of your yogurt products as well. Got to be really careful. Well, the amount of fructose per serving in the Neolife shake is equivalent to the amount that you would get from half an apple or a small piece of watermelon. Okay. For those like comparison, like for example, grapes contain 10 grams, figs 9 grams, and apple contains 13 grams. Fructose is a naturally occurring sugar, also known as fruit sugar, is a concentrated form of components that naturally sweeten fruits and vegetables. This is not to be confused with high fructose corn syrup, which is not used in any of the Neolife products. And we do need a proper ratio of protein to carbohydrate. So that's why the Neolife shake, hands down, is fantastic for this. And then there's also a lot of talk on collagen and, you know, what collagen does. Well, collagen is made from skins of connective tissues of animals. And, you know, it's an incomplete protein. It's missing one of the amino acids. And you heard Dr. Liz Applegate saying you need all 22. Collagen is imbalanced from human nutrition. It's a weak source of branched chain amino acids for muscle synthesis and repair. And when you look at the Neolife shake versus collagen, tryptophan is one of the essential amino acids, and there's 0 in a collagen protein. So you really want to look at a really good quality protein profile. And that's why Neolife Shake, hands down, is an incredible protein product. And when you marry it with our Vitality Pack that Dr. Liz Applegate talked about, this is our breakfast solution. It's our vitamin pack. There's a little bit of everything in there that we're not getting enough of in our diet, our essential lipids from grain. And you heard Don Lawson talk about the phytolipids. Well, the lipids are in this pack that helps with your adrenal glands, your hormones. You're getting your grain oils are in there, the lipids. You're getting your fish oil, omega-3. You're getting a multivitamin and your fruits and vegetables, all in this amazing, convenient pack. And Dr. Liz talked a little bit about our sport protein for recovery. Immediately after you finish a high intensity or endurance workout activity, you should have a protein within 30 minutes. You should consume it. And that's when I usually have my Neolife Sport Protein. I'll have my protein shake in the morning for breakfast. I'll go do my high intensity workout, and then I'll do my Sport Protein or a Neolife Shake again, especially if you're really active and training. And wanting to lose weight and build that lean muscle mass, fantastic to do. And again, she talked about our amazing performance protein, all 22 amino acids, and it's like that protein ratio from 1 to 1, easy to digest again, nothing artificial. no potentially dangerous stimulants, no artificial anything, no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives, and guaranteed to be free of any substance currently banned by the National Collegiate Athletic Association and the International Olympic Committee and World Anti-Doping Agency. So that's really important. And again, no GMO ingredients as well. So when you add our Elevate, which is our energy drink, we do call this our core three. We're not getting into all the details of our energy drink, but this is a really great place to start if you're looking just for all total wellness, weight management, and peak performance, and adding a bit of an energy drink at the end, like even early afternoon or even morning for coffee. If you don't drink coffee, Elevate is definitely a great substitute. So this is kind of like a solution that most people start with. It's an amazing daily trio for total wellness. So some of you are probably wondering, well, how do I get a hold of these amazing products? Well, it's free to become a member of our Neo Life Club. As soon as you join, you get a 10% discount. The vitamin pack that we talked about or the breakfast solution is a month supply. When you have it coming on a monthly order, you get a 20% discount. So it doubles your savings. You can even get your products for free. When you refer 3 people, yours is free every month. So our referral program, my customers absolutely love it. And then we do have another area, and I'm not getting into all the details of the business, but some of you know my story where, I was a police officer. I wasn't looking, for a business, but it just happened because of the products and the impact that they've made on my family. And I realized that it wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I really wanted time freedom to stay home and raise a family. And where can you start a business for as little as $98 in Canada or $75 in the US? And this unlocks a 25% discount, and you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself, with an amazing compensation plan. And because we have superior products, and because people come back I have people that have never stopped purchasing product for 33 years, every single month. So yes, profitable, you're impacting lives, and the ultimate flexibility, especially if you're working a full-time job and you have little children at home. This is something you can do whenever you can as you're sharing these amazing products that will impact their lives. So you decide if you just want to try the products, become a member for free. If you're curious about the income, little part-time side gig, or like me, where I wanted to replace my police salary, amazing opportunity. And if you just want to learn more, that's okay too. Join us at our different sessions. We host many events where you can learn more about nutrition and how these products can truly impact your life and your family and your friends. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Joan, thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your amazing journey and how protein plays such a big role. And again, if you want to power up, slow aging, feel better, lose or shrink that belly fat, or just stay healthy and just maintain your weight, Neo Life Shake. So thank you again for joining us.